I want to review a book called Focus by Daniel Goleman. Now, if you know anything about Daniel Goleman, you will know that he did the research on emotional intelligence. And that book on emotional intelligence was an amazing book. So this book, Focus, is another book that he's done most recently. And in this book, he talks about the concept of focus, but he doesn't just talk about it as a concept. He breaks down the neuropsychology of focus and how it works or how it functions. And the reason why I think that this is important is because no matter what field that you're in, you have to be able to focus to achieve your goals. Now, we all know this. However, did you know that the executive functioning of the brain is really where focus begins? And Daniel Goleman talks about that. He talks about how executive functioning of the brain allows us to resist temptations. So executive functioning is important for developing self-control, and that is linked to willpower. He also talks about how staying focused is really what we call attentional focus. So allowing ourselves to focus on what we need to put our attention on is different from having our attention being taken away from the things that we need to focus on. And he talks about that and how in our culture, in society today, that's really a big issue because we have social media and so many different things that are vying for our attention. The other thing he talks about is how executive functioning of the brain is important to metacognitive functioning. And that's really our ability to understand the process of learning when we're learning and how we're learning. So developing self-awareness so that we can self-correct. These are pretty important skill sets which are not always developed very well for adults even. And I find even in coaching, some of the biggest things that I focus on with my clients is helping them to focus better, helping them to achieve their goals. So you get where I'm going? Executive functioning is very important. And what impairs a lot of the ability for us to focus is stress, lack of sleep, lack of exercise, and just food that's not good for us. So overall, he talks about the executive functioning and the ability to focus. He looks at it from a whole systems perspective. So everything needs to be working together in order for you to achieve better focus. Now, he also gives us hope. He lets us know that focus is a muscle just like willpower, and it can be strengthened. In fact, he talks about a study where the doctors were able to improve focus in individuals through gaming. So these are just some interesting things that I found to be important in the book. But overall, this is a book that I would recommend to a coach, to anyone in any field, and anyone that is just trying to achieve a better version of themselves in their life. Check out the book Focus by Daniel Goleman.